Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel where we're building the RR Headquarters 2.0. And today's project is Soffit, just Soffit. We're not gonna get into fascia yet today. And actually Greg started the Soffit. I just got back from the International Builders Show. It was an awesome time. And all of you out there that stopped in, said hi, let me know what you thought of the channel and just overall had a good conversation with. I do appreciate you. And hopefully if you guys are watching this and think, wait, what is that? And how do I go to it? Check it out for next year, 2025. It'll be back in Las Vegas. Anyway, I'm back and it's a gorgeous day out today. Not as nice as Vegas was, but we're gonna be doing Soffit and we've got a new product. So I wanna show you that. Let's get into it. First off, it's a little bit different because we're not using an F&J channel like we typically do because we're not doing metal siding. So we have to put in a piece of J channel for our Soffit to sit in. Now, typically you're gonna put your J channel right here. Once again, we're gonna do that a little bit different on this job because we're gonna put it right here. So we're gonna walk through why we're doing that. But first thing we gotta do is get a level line, Greg. And we gotta do a little bit of framing. So we're just gonna go on this front section and we're gonna snap a line from end to end, which we should be able to do. It's only about 35 feet.
Yeah, the backside was fine.
You know, with that end there, it's not like, I always take
I had the cap off.
Oh yeah.
That's what I did over on the other side.
Yeah, and it's fine as long as you look like you weren't really on your level there. So it's not that it matters if it's level or not, you know, it's no big deal. I just was curious
You'll
why.
never see it.
Yeah.
You pull that cap.
Actually, when I drove in, all I could look at was that 2x4 that's on the end. And I don't know if it's level, off level, or if it's because we're coming in on a slight angle and it's on the Gable.
Right there.
That one doesn't look right.
Interesting.
So Greg did a little bit of work, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna check it. Yeah, I need a new piece of lead. This thing's too short.
Here, use my pencil for now.
That's all good, dude.
Well,
I got it.
Don't forget your sideline.
Okay, cool.
You know, I think I liked it better when you were here.
You know, I might have liked it better as well. Don't tell me what to do. I know how to do this. You gonna go into the middle and
Sure.
Okay, so this line is actually the bottom of our framing because it's the bottom of this as well. So now what we're gonna do is gonna install some 2x, and we actually utilized all the crating from our standing seam. So instead of wasting that, it's not the most beautiful lumber, but we figured it's probably the best place to use it. So remember when we did our framing, we've got a 2x6 right here. So we should be able to attach our 2x4 and screw it right through and get some good connection points.
Never did check that battery.
You didn't check the battery?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. So normally we don't do it this way, and by do it this way, I mean a flat soffit all the way out the end. Usually I would return this and go up at the angle of the roof. That way when our fascia goes on, we have more soffit in here, and we kind of come in here. I'm not usually a bird box fan that when you build out the soffit, but in this design, we decided I think it might be the best look, but it's gonna cause a couple issues for us because I do have this end that I'm gonna have to cover with some material, and I don't have like a big piece of fascia that I could put here to cover it, and we're not using aluminum fascia, so I can't just kind of wrap this end. So we're still thinking about how we're gonna do that. Maybe some board and bat. I guess we could paint board black. We could just paint a piece of board black. So what we're going to be doing differently on this soffit job that we don't normally do is instead of running the J here, right? A lot of times you run your trim here, you put your soffit, and then you nail your soffit up right here so that you can put your fascia on and that caps that. We're not using, once again, a metal fascia. We're gonna use the Smart Side fascia, so it's just a board. So we're actually gonna be flipping this around. That way when our fascia board caps this is a nice clean look. And then when we put our soffit back to the wall, there's gonna be a piece of trim that goes up and covers that. So two things, so it's maybe a little bit more work from a standpoint of putting the soffit in, and then also, I think it's always easier to just put your staple in right here versus maybe having to flip this around, but Greg's already done it, and I'm gonna find out, because you didn't like it that much, right?
No.
It wasn't
The gun, yeah, you couldn't get the gun really close enough against that wall to get a good
I'm gonna need I guess I'm gonna find out how well this soffit fits into the J, and does it rattle around, or is it pretty?
No, it's
pretty solid.
snug. I mean, it's about like normal.
Okay.
Soffit, I would say.
Okay. Okay. So I guess the most important thing is I want to be pretty flush.
Yeah. I just went a hair
Heavy.
heavy.
I'd rather it kind of push it tight when we nail it up. Cool. That's a good story. But the thing is, I can already tell, this J has just a slight opening to it. So I don't think I think this here can be flush because this is actually open. You see what I'm saying? I'm just gonna. This is the soffit we're gonna be using. It's a steel soffit and it's textured. I guess you would call it textured matte, so it's not super shiny. This is SpeedLap soffit. It's a little bit different, supposedly a lot faster, hence the name SpeedLap, because I haven't used it yet. This is the first time. And let's go ahead and put a piece in, and I guess you guys will be the first ones with me to kind of see how it goes. So can I get that stapler back, big guy?
Gotcha, dog.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a kind of a pain, huh?
So here, what I did,
Just come in from the side?
sideways, yeah. And then you have to kind of go,
Yeah, that's not,
you have to put it,
don't like that.
can't come over.
So with the SpeedLap, we've got this leg here, okay? And it's going to just lock over top of the last piece of soffit. In essence, being a lot faster, because if you've ever done soffit, especially aluminum soffit. Now steel soffit, we don't usually have this problem because we can get pre-cut soffits, but when you cut soffit out of like a 12-footer to put in here, it crunches the male and the females, and it makes it all skewed. And then when you try to go slide the pieces in, it can be a little bit of a challenge. So hopefully we're gonna be able to take this, put it in, and tack it up. Pretty darn easy. The only thing I gotta figure out is if I'm gonna let Greg tell me how he thinks I should do my staple there. If, you know, the fact that I'm an experienced carpenter, I'll just figure it out myself, but thank you.
You figure it out.
I'm not saying I don't appreciate you, buddy, but I think it's not, you know, not too much rocket science. Now, Greg, you said you put it against the wall.
I did. There was only a couple spots where I had to like bring it out a little bit.
I mean, soffit is typically a very easy job anyway, but I don't know, that's actually not, I was afraid of when I had to come in here and I didn't know how much room was in here to put it in and then lock it, but there's plenty of room.
Plenty of room,
And it makes it, you know, you can feel it engage exactly where it goes so that you don't have to always worry about, is the soffit getting twisted on you?
Right.
Did you see that or no?
A little bit.
It feels like it engages quite well, and I definitely don't have an effort. There's no effort to get it locked in.
No, there's none at all.
I mean, I feel like I probably should.
I did because I didn't know
Didn't know how.
long it was going to be up.
Huh. All right. We'll be fine. This all get covered by trim. So we've got board here, then we've got 5/4 trim board. So these staples will all get covered up. That's why we're not too concerned about this right here. Otherwise, we would have the J here, and then maybe our sidewall or something would come up in there. But yeah, I don't have a problem with this, dude. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's definitely. I can see why they call it SpeedLap, because it goes in
Fast lap.
Yeah, it definitely laps super quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this boom lift because we're kind of done down here. Maybe I'll throw a couple more staples in just to make sure. Man, I'm loving this staple technique that I've developed. Greg, you want me to come over there and show you how I'm making my staples?
I'm gonna beat the crap out of you. Hand it to me right.
Aren't you happy that I'm back, dude? So on this side, I'm gonna be a little bit smarter. I'm not gonna trust the exact snap line. I'm actually gonna go ahead and fasten this like so. And then what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and get this right flush on the bottom. Walking the dog. I didn't want to have to walk back and forth.
I felt like that's probably one of the laziest things I've ever seen you do.
I had this in one hand. What did you want me to do? Dude, the speed at which this product laps is really quite legendary, Greg. Okay, so here's the only downside I see to it. I can't put multiple pieces up at once.
Correct.
So with the other stuff, I can put 2 in and they just kind of hang there. It's definitely, I don't even know if it's has to be all that faster. It's definitely frustration free because you're not trying to get it lined up the way sometimes it has to go in, and you got to get that into that groove just perfectly.
And yeah, like you said, sometimes that groove is pinching.
Yeah.
It could be a pain in the butt.
I mean, this is definitely easy. So believe it or not, guys, this product was introduced to us last year at the NFBA, the National Frame Builders Association, and finally had the opportunity to use it here at my shop, which has been kind of like a test bed for new products. And the guys that produce this, they were like, dude, you're not that far from us. Why don't you come out? Why don't you see how we operate, what we do? And we actually went out there and did a quick little, actually flew out there in their private, I don't want to say jet, because it was one of those sweet planes that have like the parachute built in. So I felt pretty safe, even though I didn't know the pilot. And we went out there and did a little tour of their facility. So let's go ahead and head over to Metal Wholesale. They're in Iowa, and they're the manufacturers of this product called SpeedLap.
Taxi back out.
All right, guys, just got out here. It was a short plane ride, definitely saved us a ton of time. So big thanks to Gary, the pilot, for getting us out here to Metal Wholesale. This is where they're gonna be producing the soffit that we're using on my dream shop. And it's a special soffit because it's unlike any other soffit out there. In fact, I'm told that it will be way faster. It will be much more enjoyable to install. So I'm definitely excited. And they're gonna give us a tour of their facility here at Metal Wholesale, which is where the SpeedLap product is produced. So let's go ahead, let's check them out inside and see what we got. All right, so this is Metal Wholesale. And I've been in quite a few production facilities. This is by far the cleanest, the most up-to-date, the newest. And I think that's because they're growing so fast that they're continually adding on, getting new machinery, bringing in new products, and that's obviously a great thing. The other thing is I talked to a lot of the employees, and they all have been around since the beginning. Like, this is like one big family, and it's really cool to see and just talk to everybody. But this is the soffit machine. This is what's producing the SpeedLap. It's a custom-made machine for Metal Wholesale. They had it spec'd, they had it designed, and what's really cool about this machine is that once you start running, it doesn't have to turn off. Even though, you're making 1-2 foot pieces, the way that it does its shearing, check this out. The metal never stops rolling. It just keeps shearing, and that's pretty darn cool. Obviously very efficient, but also what's going to happen is the panel is going to stay consistently the same when it's cut like that. All right. The other cool thing is that when it is cut on a flying shear like that, it's not crunching these hems, these openings, which is very, very hard to do, and pretty darn cool engineering that they were able to figure that out on this machine. This is the slitter, and they're going to be making our J channels for our soffits, so we got to stop over to the trim area. We watched them bend 2 pieces at a time. These are 10-foot plus pieces on this Vario bender, and this bender is amazing. You literally put the piece in, and then watch. This is going to automatically move it to where it needs to go. The two operators, they have to both have their feet on the pedal so that they both know it's going to get pressed. But the machine does all the work. It's programmed, and it's pretty darn sweet. So you can put any design in there, and it's just going to do it. But overall, this was a great trip. It was a good behind the scenes. I like to see where products are made, how they're made, but more importantly, the people behind the products. And these guys are all the real deal, good people. And probably the coolest thing I saw is this. They put their name and their picture on every product they send out. That's pretty cool. Well, honestly, guys, I was very much so thrilled to come and see the process, Kenny, and I appreciate you guys bringing us over here. But I'm also even more excited to get it installed on my building. And that's going to be next. So we're actually now going to go ahead and fly back home, and we will continue this video with the install of the SpeedLap. So Kenny, thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks to everybody at Metal Wholesale. So what did you guys think of that tour of Metal Wholesale? That was very generous of them to fly us out there for the day. Greg actually missed out on it. He didn't want to go. Actually, no, you were in Florida. That was when you were in Florida.
Yeah,
Greg was vacationing in Florida, so actually he maybe was the winner because That was probably pretty fun too. Definitely big thanks to Metal Wholesale for bringing us out, showing the operation, and I think, you know, just bringing innovation to the post frame industry. It's not just for post frame though. You could use this anywhere. You guys like this matte, like textured black. I like it because it's not so overly shiny. So when you look up into your soffit, it just gives it a really nice appearance. So well done, Metal Wholesale, SpeedLap. So if you guys are interested in this product, I don't know if it's available to you specifically, but they're in a lot of lumber yards, dealers. Their network is getting even larger every day. They're doing quite well. So if you're interested, look up maybe your local dealer or supplier and see if they can get SpeedLap, because I can tell you, they'll pre-cut any size too. So if you want to do a porch with this, if you want to do a 4-foot overhang, a 13-inch overhang, you can order this exactly to the size, because they have that roll former that just punches them and cuts them to whatever size you want. So that's why I kind of think that this will be a good product for the industry, because there's nothing worse than lining up a pile of soffit in boxes, right, Greg?
Yeah,
and then having to cut it. This is a big time saver, both in the install and just coming to your job site in the box to the size that you need. All right, so let's see how easy this is. Now, I've never measured this, but am I going to try to measure it right from here, since I could just measure the hook?
What I've learned is if you hook that, then you have to measure off of, that's what you have to go off of if you hook that part.
Really?
Yep.
Can I not believe you for a second and just take
Sure.
a look? See,
Yep.
that way, no, that way we can show the people what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm not questioning you and your methods. It's just so people can understand, because I hooked this to measure. So when this goes in, it's not actually measuring out to here, which is what maybe I would have thought in the first place. So, interesting. I wonder why they do that. I think there's probably some reason, but I don't know. I should have asked them, but I guess I didn't know what I know now. So we're cutting this down to 8 3/8. So I'm measuring from here, 8 3/8. That's like right through here. I'm already noticing I'm going to be cutting off right here, which means I'm going to have like this 4 inches of flat. So we're going to have to do something to keep this nice and secure. And I'm assuming we'll do pretty much what we do on all of them, right? Greg,
Yep.
Did you do that yet?
Yes.
Have you had to do that?
Yep. Here's a piece.
Oh, perfect. And we can save this for maybe a starter of a future thing, or no?
Well,
Or are you not done
it's
that?
actually the same piece. So this is what I cut off of on the other side.
So here's my question: well, we're gonna go to this Gable next, and I'm gonna ask you how you did it, but we'll wait for that. We'll not go at it all at once. Okay, so this here is just to keep this tight, since we don't have anything over on this end. So we just take a little scrap piece with the same thickness here, and hopefully that'll do a good job. I've never done this before. We're gonna find out.
You man.
So I see why it's easy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to lock it into that that groove.
You just put it up in there.
Although
and
right here,
slide it over.
there we go. That's nice and snug.
There you go.
Dang. SpeedLap. Who would have thunk? So now this isn't gonna flap like it would if it was just installed there without that solid piece underneath it. So I mean, that was easy.
It's easy.
Soffit is easy, guys. Okay, we're not saying that this was like, 5 times as fast, but definitely less effort. And I really like the fact that we can get this in any dimension. So I wanted to use it in soffit first, but I'm thinking for us, the best use of this might be in like our porch ceilings. Think about going in and out of our miters or whatever, because you just slide it in. Want to tuck it, huh? Stay tuned. Maybe that'll be the next thing we do. All right, let's move on to the Gable. Now that we're on our Gables, we do not want airflow into our Gable, and we could block out our Gables, but instead we choose to use a solid soffit. That's why we're making the change. If you notice, we were using a perforated. That's where we want a vent, and now we're gonna go to solid soffit. This is an interesting detail here, Greg. That's never gonna go up at the same angle. It's gonna get covered by fascia, so you're not gonna see it per se. Might have enough movement in it.
Always pop the nail back.
Nope, got it. That'll be fine, because this will all get covered with my fascia here. So that should have Should have done what I wanted. There we go. I wanted that to go up in there, you see? This is backwards for me now.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to be a little bit ambidextrous.
I don't know the meaning of that
So
word.
my thought is when I say fire, that's when I'm gonna pull the trigger and we both blink our eyes, okay?
You didn't say fire. That comes in my eyeball.
I didn't have to. Fire. Fire. This should not have been stapled at all.
Why?
This is not gonna get protected by anything. Normally it's okay to staple because it's getting covered with a steel or whatever, so we staple it and then the steel is gonna get screwed. Now our soffits, there's not gonna be anything here. It could just pull right out. This is just gonna be, so when the wind comes up into the soffits through the vents, it could blow right out. You should have, and I should now put some actual nails in here. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So when we do the fascia, I'm just gonna have to come through here and put some
Hopefully
screws. You know,
hopefully it doesn't blow off.
if you're not learning, you're dying, dude. This is the first time we've done this. Usually this gets supported by something, so we don't have to go too crazy on our fasteners, but yeah, I'm gonna have to probably come through here maybe every like 4 feet, just throw every couple, you know, just skip a couple, just so it can't pull through.
Yeah. 100%.
And then we'll just throw some nails. Fire. Okay, just checking, making sure you were still following protocol. Fire. Oh no. It's not gonna be a perfect fit. Probably should have started in the middle.
How?
How? Yeah. What do you mean how? Put 2 pieces of J? Fire. At least we're straight. All right, just keep yours tight and we're just gonna kinda. Are you gonna help me? Check this out. This whole thing was given to us by Keegan. Keegan did all the work here, so thank you, Keegan. That's kind of nice. I mean, what company produces a product and then gives you the name and the face of the guy that you could go after if you're not happy? That's pretty ballsy. I like that, man. Keegan, so far, you're gonna be okay. Maybe enough just to give us something, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's more than what I got, and mine looked fine.
That was a lot more than we were getting by hand. We did it backwards, dude. I got you. Let's go. Come on. Oh, I'm so scared. Man, that was extremely difficult. Why was that so hard for you?
Where's the gun?
I thought it went in there pretty darn nice. Fire. All I'm thinking is if we came out square, we look pretty darn good there. We hit the peak. That worked out pretty good. Next time I think I'll make it a little bit tighter and I will make it come back open. Instead of forcing it to be an angle, I'll put it in there and force it open. No?
I don't know if you want to do that.
That's easy. Now we got a gable done. We got this, I guess, eave done here. And now we've got one more gable over there.
That one's, we got a little bit of cutting to do on that guy right there.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, fine, dude. Yeah, but don't matter. All we just got to do is screw it to a line.
Some beautiful boards.
I don't like the fact how unlevel this thing is. Not because I'm afraid, because just I don't like being unlevel. Like I want to stand on solid ground.
I think it